All right, Jamie, this is John Mueller again with a breakdown of, well, I'll call it Sector 2 of our two fast laps at Harris Hill. My fast lap is on the top. I had a 128.330. Your fast lap is below, and you had a 138 point, I want to say 390. We'll take a look at when we do the final sector wrap up of this, but so fairly significant difference in our laps, and we're going to do a quick breakdown on how I got there and how I gained that time on you. So for this sector, what we're doing is we're leading into the section or turns 2 and 3 as we come through Harris Hill. So that's kind of that sweeping right-hander. And you're doing a fairly good job through here, but obviously there's some speed to be gained, specifically as I called out in the last video, carrying a bit more speed or significantly more speed into that turn-in point for turn 2. And then having confidence to get those brakes, get on those brakes and get that car turned using that brake pedal. So as we come through here, we take a look. My entry speed is going to be around 80 miles an hour versus your 54. We'll take a look. Boom, there we go. Sorry, 74 miles an hour. And then your mid-corner speed is down to 54. We are going to see that my speed drops as I get closer to that apex, but that's because I'm using this space within here going down to that apex in order to be able to slow the car down. So I'm going to back up just slightly and watch from your turn-in point. You're at 56 miles an hour, so this whole space between that turn-in cone all the way down to that apex, you're at about the same speed, whereas I'm using all of that space and all of that pavement to bleed my speed. So we see I come down to 74 miles an hour, and then all the way down to that apex, we see I'm continuing to bleed speed down to 62 miles an hour. And it might drop even a little bit more than that. Yeah, so we see 60 miles an hour. Then interestingly enough, we're not quite at the same point right here, but we're getting closer. So we see you're at that cone right there. You're at 58. And so we're not that different between our two laps as we come through here. So 60 miles an hour mid-corner. I'm carrying a few more G's than you, and that's because I'm actually turning the car more at this point. I've let the car, if you take a look, I've let the car swing out a little bit wider on this track, and then I'm bending it back to the right-hand side to get back to the grass on the inside, giving that car a little bit more space to run. And that's going to allow me to apply the power more confidently as I come through turn 3. We were kind of using, and you can see this here, you're tightening down on the right side in that grass, using that as an apex. I do the same thing, and you've already started accelerating here, which is good to see. You're going to see that I start going to the gas as well. And at about this point, I've gained a little bit of ground on you. I'm already up to 72 miles an hour. Both of us accelerating with consistent throttle pressure here. So I just went to the throttle a little bit earlier than you, and that's allowing me to carry more speed, have more speed all the way down this side straightaway. So just bear that in mind. We're going to see our peak speeds are significantly different. So we're seeing you peak out at 102, and I'm continuing to gain up to 105. And I think my entry actually ends up being around 107 before I get the turn in. So that makes a difference. So getting that car, I'm going to back up here, letting that car out wider and then bringing it back to the curbing gives us a straighter line down that side straight and allows us to apply that throttle and actually apply it earlier. Again, right here, I'm quite a ways behind you, and I'm only 2 miles an hour down on you. If I bring you back to the same spot, so where we see that tipped over cone, you're at 66, and I'm at 74. Yeah. So about 6 miles an hour, which is not inconsequential. So it's really a matter of using that pavement in order to carry those brakes down to the apex and bleed speed in that period between the turn-in point and the apex. and then also getting that car turned so that we can start going to the gas sooner and getting a better run down that side straight. All right. I'll talk to you in a minute and we'll talk about the next sector.